Hi everybody, this is the baseball like the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host. Welcome back to Baseball at 2. Hope you like this video. Hit that subscribe button. So, we know about this big trade that the Padres and the Marlins did on Friday. And we're going to talk about in this video 10 early season trade candidates after this big trade. This was a massive trade because nobody was expecting this. It sort of came out of nowhere. But apparently, this was a trade that had been discussed for a few weeks, if not for a few months, between the teams. Now, the Marlins have basically said that they're not going to contend, which doesn't surprise me considering the kind of level of injuries that pitching staff has accrued over the last 2 months, starting in spring training. And, of course, they lost Sandy Alcantara. They lost Jesus Luzardo for a few weeks. Who knows if he's going to come back. But losing Alcantara was a big deal in the offseason, knowing that he was going to have to get Tommy John surgery. That basically just killed that whole season before anything got started. But here we have from CBS Sports, and they did basically 10 early candidates. I'm going to run through them here. At number 1, Jalen Beeks, left-handed pitcher for the Colorado Rockies. Blame the alphabet if this feels like an underwhelming starting point. We felt Beeks was an interesting waiver claim last winter, essentially a rental lefty with a history of suppressing quality of contact. He's continued to miss barrels despite pitching in Coors Field and having both his strikeout and walk rates crater. Indeed, Beeks ranks in the 89th percentile in average exit velocity, according to StatCast. We think he's a worthwhile trade candidate for a team seeking a utility pitcher who can work in a single or multi-inning role alike. It wouldn't surprise us if his strikeout rate rebounded once he's freed from pitching in Denver. Number 2, Paul Blackburn, right-handed pitcher from the Oakland A's. Blackburn has populated articles like this one since 2022 when the A's celebrated the end of the owner-imposed lockout by gutting their entire roster. He's continued to get good results this season after surprisingly mothballing his sinker in favor of a four-seamer. We write surprisingly because Blackburn's sinker has been his primary offering throughout his career. Anyway, he has one more year of team control remaining. Steel yourselves now because headlines are going to refer to him as a former All-Star when he gets moved. Number 3 on this list, Eric Feed of the White Sox. Give the White Sox credit. Signing Feed to a 2-year pact worth $15 million for an overseas stint looks like a nifty deal. He overhauled his arsenal to feature a splitter and sweeper, and in turn, he's touted a 153 ERA plus and a 4.33 strikeout to walk ratio through 6 starts. Technically, the White Sox cannot trade him without his consent prior to June 15th. That's true of all free agents who sign a big league deal, but they'd be wise to begin investigating his market sooner than later. Number 4 in this list from the Colorado Rockies, Austin Gomber, left-handed pitcher. Gomber's taken his lumps since being shipped to Colorado in the Nolan Arenado deal. He's now on the shady side of 30 and a year away from free agency, making this a sensible time for the Rockies to move him to a different team. Gomber isn't particularly exciting. He's a soft-throwing lefty without much swing and miss ability. He's off to a decent enough start this season, and we think that his whole deal will work better outside of Coors Field. Even then, we're still envisioning him serving as a number 5 starter, perhaps as a swingman. Number 5 on this list, Eloy Jimenez, outfielder DH with the White Sox. We feel obligated to include Jimenez, who's drawn trade interest in the past. He's in the midst of a would-be career worst season, as he entered Saturday with an 87 OPS plus. On a potentially related note, teams are throwing him more breaking balls and fastballs for the first time. It's because he's got nobody hitting around him. He's got no protection. Jimenez offers negative secondary value, so it's concerning that he's been more of an average offensive performer than not since 2021. Factor in how Jimenez isn't cheap. He's making $13 million this year with a buyout to come on as his club option. We're sadly not sure he's going to inspire a robust market. Number 6, again from the White Sox, Michael Kopech. Pay no mind to Kopech's ERA. There's a lot to like about his game. He has an elite arm strength, average 98.8 miles per hour. He's generated 30% whiffs to date. But you fool yourself if you think the Dodgers are one of these other pitching smart organizations wouldn't want him on their staff. He has an additional year of team control remaining. The White Sox have no reason to wait. Number 8, Martin Perez, left-handed pitcher with the Pirates. As with feed listed above, Perez cannot be traded without his consent prior to June 15th after signing as a free agent with the Pirates over the offseason. Fair enough. Perez isn't particularly flashy. He doesn't miss bats or post impressive strikeout to walk ratios, and he doesn't even generate that many ground balls anymore. He's continued to get outs and keep runs off the board. He's done so in a reliable enough manner over the last 5 years to label him a credible back-end starter. At number 9 on this list from the Los Angeles Angels, second baseman Luis Rengifo. Rengifo has had a weird career arc. He was almost traded before the pandemic to the Dodgers, part of a deal that would have included Jock Peterson and Andy Paez. That swap fell apart, and so did Rengifo for a couple of years. He's since enjoyed a resurgence, entering Saturday sporting a would-be best 139 OPS plus. We don't believe that's going to stick, but he has his charms if he overlooks some notable blemishes. He doesn't hit the ball hard. He's very aggressive at the plate. He's not a good defender, and so on. Other than that, he's pretty good. Namely, the switch-hitting Rengifo has been adept at crushing left-handed pitching, sporting a 900-plus OPS against them each season since 2022. He has an additional year of team control remaining, so the Angels may elect to hold on to him. They do make him available, though. Expect him to draw interest as a plausible second division starter at the Keystone. And finally on this list, number 10 from the Oakland A's, right-handed pitcher Ross Stripling. By virtue of being Oakland's highest-paid player, Stripling is also the Athletics' most likely to be dealt over the coming months. He does strike after strike with a full arsenal, including a low 90s four-seam fastball that rents an apartment at the top of the zone. His overall numbers aren't pretty, blaming on a drubbing he took at the hands of the Texas Rangers. But he's recently recorded some solid starts against the first-place O's and Guardians. There's only so much pitching to go around. Stripling then is a perfectly fine candidate to slot in as someone's number 5 starter. So these are some of the early names. These aren't any barn burners by any stretch. These aren't like star players. But these are some of the players that are probably going to get moved. They're probably easy to get, aside from the money with Jimenez. These are guys that are going to get moved pretty easily. Bullpen arms, the utility players, they get moved very, very easily. But these are some of the early names. So thank you for watching this video. Of course, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you later.